With all the exciting Switch 2 info dropping as of late, I'm sure we're all wondering the next big question. When is Nintendo going to make any of this official and actually announce this thing? So today I thought I would cover the 4 possible pathways for Nintendo to move forward from the most likely to the least likely. But as we know with Nintendo, anything is possible. And the fact that their calendar is so wide open honestly makes all 4 of these paths perfectly plausible. Combining all of the rumors, the leaks, and the reports we've had as of late, it seems like Nintendo is gearing up to at least say, we have a console. But which of these 4 paths do you think they'll follow? Which are you putting your money on? Let me know in the comments down below. Option 1, 2, 3, or 4. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Let's kick it off with option 1, the simple reveal. This is a reveal of intention more than it is an actual system. This is Furukawa at the next investors meeting, May 7th, saying, guess what? We are planning to release the next generation of Nintendo Switch hardware within the next 12 months. Ta-da! And that's all we get. No images, no trailer, no details, no plans, no price, no games, nothing. This is Nintendo's most low-key way of confirming a Switch 2, even though we know Nintendo is always working on new hardware. This might be enough, though, to satiate investors and sort of keep the rumors at bay, keep the leaks maybe at bay by confirming, like, yes, this is coming and we'll talk about it at a later date. If that is the route Nintendo goes, they most likely announce that in May and do a reveal trailer later in the fall to kind of mirror what they did with Nintendo Switch 1, when they said in the springtime that they're working on new hardware. And then in the fall, they dropped that awesome Switch trailer where they were playing the Switch on the rooftops. They showed off Mario Odyssey, they showed off Breath of the Wild, they showed off Splatoon 2. It was fantastic. And we eventually led to a big reveal of games in January and a launch in March. I could see Nintendo following a very similar structure, and to me that is the most likely. But we do have to account for the fact that Nintendo hasn't said anything lately about anything. We know they have Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, shaping up great, except for the 30 frames per second, but it still looks amazing and I can't wait. We've got Luigi's Mansion 2, we've got Endless Ocean real soon, and that's it. Nothing else has been confirmed, nothing else has been announced. We haven't had a direct since September, a true direct, a general direct, a first-party direct. And so Nintendo's strange behavior, their quietness could be attributed to many things: a dwindling lineup, an internal delay of the system, or prepping for something bigger. I suppose Nintendo could also be ready to unveil the Switch soon. Would they do it at their May 7th call? Probably not. But shortly after, Nintendo could put forth a trailer where they say, hey, we have a new system coming. Now this trailer could go one of 2 ways, and so option 2 and 3 are very similar. This trailer could be very much like the Switch 1 trailer, where it does give us a great look at what this system does. It gives us a great look at what this system is about, from its launch games to its usability to its controllers, and we get like a big reveal trailer sometime this summer. I would predict that more for June than May, as that lines up with when Nintendo typically reveals their biggest stories of the year. Even though there's not an E3, it still has plenty of precedent for coming in the June month, and if they didn't do a direct all year until June, we would be aching for something new. Now, they could reveal the Switch 2 alongside maybe some games that are cross-gen, things like Metroid Prime 4, that we would then see debut on Switch this fall, with a Switch 2 update and upgrade dropping in spring of 2025. The other option is that they don't give us that sort of big, huge trailer, but instead say, look forward to a trailer. Now, this could be a picture, this could be words, this could be a teaser, and Nintendo could open up some sort of direct or some sort of presentation with just a little like snippet, or close with a snippet to say like, hey, get ready. So like, stay tuned, we're going to be revealing more information in the future or later this year or something of this sort. This is basically like a more direct version of option 1. So whereas option 1 is, hey, we're just going to tell you like we're working on new hardware, option 3 is like, stay tuned, it's coming. And maybe they do give us a little bit of something. Maybe they say Nintendo Switch 2 and confirm the name. Maybe they give us like a picture with it like under a curtain. Maybe they do give us a teaser trailer where it's like the next generation of Nintendo, and they don't reveal new games, they don't reveal the system, but maybe there's some hints of what to expect and what to do going forward. Now, I think that option is a very modern marketing type of move, which makes me think it's the least likely for Nintendo. Nintendo does seem to operate on their own what they want to do, how they think it should go. And so I think they are much more likely to either wham bam, here it is, or we're going to tell you nothing. A teaser, a picture, that's like revealing without revealing. And based on what we know about Nintendo and how secretive they are, that seems like, for them, the worst possible scenario. But they could also opt to go with option 4, which is a much bigger deal. So as opposed to having a trailer and then that builds into an eventual reveal of the games and eventually into a launch, or if they build from a Furukawa announcement into a trailer, they could just go full on summer showcase. Nintendo could opt to, in May or June, divulge everything and give us a whopping huge Switch 2 unveiling with games, controllers, pricing, release date. This would mean that they're more likely to drop it in the fall, but given Nintendo's sort of small lineup going forward, or what we anticipate to be a small lineup based on nothing being announced, I could see Nintendo potentially using the summer as the showcase and still announcing a 2025, an early 2025 probably, release window for the system. They could show it all off in the summer and then say you gotta wait. That has happened in the past with other consoles. It's not too much of a wait. And if it was internally delayed, then maybe they had this summer showcase planned. It was supposed to drop in the fall. Now it's just going to drop in the spring. It's a few months back, like a 4-month delay, but they still want to get the word out there. They still want to get people hyped up. They still want to appease investors, and they don't care about cutting into Switch sales because the Switch has sold so much. And if they do have a few tentpole titles, whether that's bringing back games like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, whether that's introducing Metroid Prime 4 finally, they know that players will still buy software throughout the rest of this year, and I think that's what they're more concerned with than selling more Switch hardware. They also could continue to sell OLEDs, Switch Lite, as people wait, or people don't really know when this is coming out or if it's something they want. But a big summer showcase would be a bold move for Nintendo. It would be much more, I would say, traditional, but at the same time, it seems unlikely that Nintendo will go from 0 to 100. Doing a trailer and then eventually a reveal and then eventually a launch is much more of a build-up and gives you sort of these designated marketing moments, as opposed to a summer showcase is lay it all on the line. And with all 4 of these options, you have to consider how the current Switch announcements fit in alongside it. No matter what Nintendo does, there will be more Switch 1 games later this year. So how does it all factor in? Before, we heard things like, oh, Nintendo's going to have a regular Direct for Switch 1, and then that will lead into a Switch 2 announcement. Do they follow that same train of thought, or do they go opposite? I don't want anyone's hopes to get up, but because we have no official confirmation from Nintendo, there still is a chance that this system launches this year. And perhaps the quietness, the oddness, the lack of directs is indeed because they are prepping a Switch 2 launch lineup as opposed to a Switch 1 calendar lineup. There still would be some cross-gen titles probably and some smaller releases, but maybe the all silent on the Nintendo front is because they are gearing up for a big debut and a big launch. And if you believe in option 4, that's kind of what you're buying into. For me, the most likely is option 1, as I stated, where they do decide to just say, hey, we're working on hardware, get excited, and then they'll probably have a normal Switch 1 Direct after the May 7th investors call in late May or in June would be my guess. I could also see them releasing a trailer for the system, but that would have to be happening later in the fall. They could say nothing at the investors call, have a Switch 1 Direct, keep their lips sealed, and then drop this trailer in the fall, and that would totally not surprise me. I do think 3 with the teaser is unlikely because Nintendo doesn't typically like to tantalize in that way. They're much more of like, we're not going to say anything. We don't know. Miyamoto's like, we're not making a new handheld, and then they announce a new handheld. They'd rather omit than tease. It just seems to be the way of Nintendo. Now, they could have changed in recent time with Furukawa as a new head honcho, but I even think that the big summer showcase is probably more likely than a drawn-out teaser type reveal. That's the one I would love the most. If we could get a big summer showcase with games, controllers, pricing, and release date, whether it ends up being fall 2024 or spring 2025, that would be super exciting and super fulfilling as a Nintendo fan, I think. But I do think it goes 1 most likely, 2 being the next most likely, probably 4 and then 3, which is a little bit out of order. But option 1 is where they just talk about it and then eventually have a big trailer. Option 2 is no talk about it, just drop a trailer in the fall. We don't hear about it for another 5, 6, 7 months. Option 3 is this slow building picture, teaser, reveal, and then eventually a trailer later on down the line. And option 4 is no, it's just a summer blow up, as maybe we initially thought before the delay rumors, and we're just going to get a lot of Switch 2 goodies coming up in like a month and a half's time. Let me know which of these you believe is going to happen in the comments down below. I think they got to do something. I think that announcing something in May, even if it's just stating we're working on hardware, is a must for Nintendo at this point. They can still do a trailer later on, but skipping like the verbiage and just going straight to a trailer this fall gives Nintendo 6 more months where they got to figure out what the heck's going on. And maybe they have a direct and maybe they'll quell all of our curiosities, but as of right now, Nintendo has nothing. And I think they need to fill that gap with something, and the best way to do that would be to generate buzz and start building hype towards the next generation of Nintendo Switch. One of, if not their best systems of all time. The sequel, the successor, that's got to get investors, fans, journalists, media, everybody very excited. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. We've got a lot of details if you haven't seen those videos on the magnetic Joy-Con, the metallic Joy-Con, the new buttons, the new kickstand, etc. Check those videos out. I'll bring you more as soon as it drops. Until then though, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.